United States, where the Commerce Department's Consensus Bureau says that the U.S. single-family home building rose to a 6.4% in November to an annual rate of 1.011 million units, following the decline caused by the hurricanes. October's data was revised to show a decline to 950,000 units from the previously reported 970,000. Despite a jump in the homebuilder sentiment and rising sales expectations, economists warn that higher lumber prices and the lack of workers, particularly with a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, could dampen the market. The U.S. current account deficit surged to a record of $310.9 billion in the third quarter, a 13.1% increase from the previous quarter, driven by higher imports and lower primary income receipts. The deficit now represents a 4.2% of the GDP, the highest since Q1 2022. Imports of goods rose sharply by a $23.7 led by capital goods and consumer products, while exports increased by a $13.6 billion. Primary income receipts fell by a $15.5 billion, largely due to a drop in direct investment earnings. The goods trade deficit widened to a $300.3 billion. And on another note, the United States' Congress is set to vote in the coming days on legislation restricting U.S. investments in China as part of a bill to fund government operations through mid-March. And in October, the Treasury finalized rules set to take effect on January the 2nd, imposing limits on U.S. investments in artificial intelligence and other technology sectors in China that could threaten the U.S. national security. And in response to the U.S. Congress's upcoming vote on legislation restricting the U.S. investments in China, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian stated that economic and trade cooperation between the U.S. and China is a win-win. And speaking at a press conference, Lin Jian urged the U.S. to stop politicizing and weaponizing economic and trade issues and to create necessary conditions for economic and trade cooperation between the two countries. And brokerages such as Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs expect a quarter-point interest rate cut by the U.S. Federal Reserve at its policy meeting later today. The anticipated move would lower the central bank's benchmark policy rate to the 4.25% to 4.50% range, a full percentage point below its September level when the Federal Reserve began easing tight monetary policy aimed at countering inflation since 2021. Some predict a hawkish cut, with attention on updated rate outlooks and economic forecasts for the first few months of the incoming Trump administration.